All right, so we finally come to the last part, part three. And part three, we just want to remind ourselves that we're asking that same question today of where are the segments? Um, and so for this part, we're going to see that the segments are outside. Segments are outside, or at least part of them, or some of the segment is outside. Okay. Um, And when they're outside, again, it's just like the last video, part two. We're still going to do that same formula. External times whole equals external times whole. Okay, so that's that same formula that we just did, but this is a separate section for one reason and one reason only. Okay, if we look at this, this circle here to the right, if we look to the right here, we definitely see the outside parts. Here's an outside part, here's an outside part, and we can even distinguish one of the holes. It would be this ED right here, that segment ED. But then we don't have the same thing going on here. Like, we don't have this line going through the circle. We only have this tangent piece. So the hole that we're going to use is just actually the same thing as the external, because the whole thing is outside of the circle. So we're still going to just use this line, okay, as our whole piece. So in other words, if we have external times whole, well, the first external piece is EC. It's this pink piece right here, EC, okay, times the whole. Well, that side's whole piece is ED. And that equals the external. Well, for this shorter piece, the external is EA. And then, like we just discussed, the whole thing is also EA. The whole thing is also EA. So we're actually just going to times it by itself, or square it. This is another way to think about it. Okay, so let's look down here at letter A. Okay, problem letter A, right here. All right. Well, I see the external pieces. They're right here. That's X and 3, all right? Now I'm looking for my whole piece. I know the whole piece would be here, okay? And over here, the whole piece is going to be X. Well, to find this whole piece, I'm just going to add these two things together. 24 and 3, that's 27. That's 27, the whole piece. All right, well, I'm just going to do external 3 times the whole, 27, equals external, well, that's X, times the whole, also X. All right, well, 3 times 27 is 81. X times X is X squared. So we're just going to square root that, and that works out to a nice even 9. I'm sorry, it doesn't equal X squared, but a nice even 9. All right, well, let's look at number B. Okay, number B is really similar. Really similar. Again, we have these externals that we see right away. Here's the external X, the external 12. Okay, this piece is the whole piece right here. And then they gave us the whole also over here. It's 16. So they gave us everything this time. We don't have to find any of it. We just have to plug it in. So we're doing external 12 times the whole, which is also 12, equals external, well, in this case it's X, times the whole, which is 16. All right, so that's 144 equals 16x. And when we divide by 16, it actually works out to an even 9 as well. Even 9 as well. And there's just one last one we need to do together. All right, it's down here, and go ahead and write yourself a letter D and circle it, and that'll just clue me in that you watched the video as well. So that's going to help me know about the extra credit. Sorry, not ES, but EC. Okay, well, down here we have this picture, and It looks a little different than the ones we've done before. We see the external pieces, right? That's 10, that's 6. They're on the outside of the circle. And we know that this one is just the whole right here. But we've reached a problem. See, this piece here, this segment, it's not quite the whole because it ends halfway through the circle. Okay, but for it to be the whole, it needs to touch the circle over here. So to be the whole, it has to touch the circle. But we can draw from the center to the side of a circle. And that's actually going to be a radius. That's going to be a radius as well. Okay, so we can draw that in. Then if we wanted to find the whole, this whole thing, we're just going to add these two things together. So that's 2r. And we're also going to add 6. So we're adding all three of those things together. 2r plus 6. Alright, so now this thing is the whole. So now we have the whole. So now we can do external times whole. So external 10 times the whole 10 equals external 6 times the whole, which is 2r plus 6. And some of you have recognized now that we need to distribute because we have this polynomial here. So we're going to distribute. Well, 10 times 10 is 100. 6 times 2 is 12r. And 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract 36. And this isn't actually that bad. So 64 equals 12r. And divide by 12. And r equals, I think, 5.3 when we plug it into the calculator. Now they did give us units feet, so we have to be careful here. We want to make sure that we put 5.3 feet, and I didn't really leave myself enough room, but that's okay. 5.3 feet. Okay, so again, just to recap that example, we need the whole thing to touch the other side of the circle. Okay, so it can't stop in the middle, it needs to touch over here. So now would be a great time to pull out a blank piece of paper, start working on your homework. Give yourself no homework for tonight. It's on the board, actually both boards, the schedule and on the front of the board under agenda. But I'll also show you here in the packet. Okay, so I amended it. It's 6 through 14 evens. And then the rest of these problems you'll also do. So 24, 25, 33, and 34. Alright, so that's the homework. Alright, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And as always, you can email me or remind me if you have any questions. Alright, see you tomorrow.